We kiss biceps here because we're General Hospital Snark. Welcome to the Snark Cast. This is episode 21. We've got lots to break down and talk about. We'll see you on the flip side. Well, it's been quite the week in Port Charles. We've got detective agencies springing up all over the place with all kinds of people trying to track down Cyrus, which I love. We got Willow and Drew and the gang working against them, which also include our two favorite enemies, Carly and Nina. We'll get to that in a minute. Sasha has woken up and decided she's worth setting some boundaries and taking care of herself. We love that. And of course, my new favorite storyline, the Jordan and Isaiah takedown of Jen Sidwell. And I'm really excited about that one. So, David, tell me what's going on with you this week and what you liked or didn't like.
Let's start with the couple of the moment. Move over Curtis and Portia. Definitely move over Trina and Kai, because we actually have a sophisticated romance on the horizon. And if we have not said this before, because as we know, it took a couple of tries after Vanessa Antoine to get Jordan course corrected. Well, mission accomplished, General Hospital.
Mission accomplished.
They figured out what to do with, they got it right. I just pray they don't ruin it. It's a beautiful start on an adult romance.
One of the reasons this is going to work better than, say, the Kai and Trina storyline, we'll put those as the opposites, is that Isaiah and Jordan have a quest together. When you can put two people together, obviously there's been flirtations, but there's nothing significant that's happened to move their relationship forward except now.
Except the relationship.
That,
which was,
but now they're partners in crime, or partners in against crime, however you want to say that. And that is going to be a more natural development. Let's face it, we've all had romantic relationships. We don't start a successful romantic relationship is one in which you are doing something with the person that you both like doing, right? Whether it's, hey, we're into roller skating, or we both like bowling, or hey, let's catch a criminal. It gives you the basis for something to talk about at the very least, instead of just looking at each other and mooning at each other, which is also an important part. And I want to see that. But I love that they're two smarty pants working together to take down another smarty pants. And that's going to be good.
Well, and it's also refreshing because we have seen that trope of people fall in love and start immediately acting stupid. Flirtation, this, that. Cut to the chase. They at least have cut to the chase with these two.
Oh, yeah.
We have a connection, something's going on, but look over here, something's going on. We gotta deal with this first. And then
it's great. I love it. And when she said, hey, I'm going to be working to take down Sidwell, so I really can't see you anymore. And he's like, yeah, no. Now that you and I have had these looks with each other across the table, I'm not going anywhere. And that was very romantic and very...
We're taking this undercover in more ways than one.
Right. And speaking of not romantic.
Yes. Okay.
Let's talk about the horny teenagers. Let's talk about the horny teenagers that have now moved into the mom's house. How many bedrooms? I hope Nina has a big apartment with lots of bedrooms because, oh God.
I do want to make a point here, because as much as we all hate Drew, and I have a feeling, I read an article this week that Cameron Matheson was a little surprised by fans' reactions to his character. So I really do think he believes that he's having a soap opera romance with Willow. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, I didn't see him on the Jennifer Hudson show, but apparently he talks about this.
Okay. Yeah.
And I have to say, the one tiny little, I saw like a 5-second clip, and he is jazz handing his way through Jennifer Hudson. I'm like, oh, sit back, J-Head. You're going to get yourself slapped if you're not careful.
I worked with an actor once who didn't get his role, but somehow nailed his role. And I have to say, I think Cameron Matheson is nailing the role, but has no understanding as an actor what that role is in conjunction with everything else. It's definite, and I always advocate for this, it's definite murder mystery writing. And at some point, whether GH, because they're very lax to pull a trigger, except when it's sunny, to do a murder mystery, an actual murder mystery where we don't know who done it. But however they write off Drew, because eventually they're going to run out of things to do with him. It's just like I'm enjoying the ride. I'm just enjoying watching the Drew character just get constantly slammed and from different angles. I mean, I guess it was a little refreshing this week to see Maxie say, well, you're a good dad. Is he?
That whole scene was so weird. Sorry, a bug just flew in my face. That whole scene was very strange. Drillo is being attacked from many, many different sides. Let's face it, they don't have a lot of people on their side. In fact, let's count. Oh, they don't have anyone on their side.
And they
That was
shouldn't.
hard math. Yeah.
Yeah. Nor should they.
Let's stop and let's talk about that epic meltdown at the MetroCourt.
Which, by the way, for those people who say we do not like Carly, oh no, we like Carly.
We like Carly.
Especially when it seems like that, where it's deserved.
That whole scene was classic soap goodness at its very peak. The fact that I could get so many reaction shots in that one scene from so many different people just tells you how insane it was. I mean, we've got Carly going after Drew. We have Drew thinking he's being clever and calling Carly and on the fact that Jason is out, stooping all these women, impregnating all of Port Charles. And we've got Sasha over there going, what the actual hell is going on here, people? And we have Tracy going, oh my gosh, I've lost control of my home. It was so great. It was awesome.
And Lucy Coe,
oh yeah,
being the gossip monger that she is,
right?
Just like radiating joy over this. She can't keep it in.
I want to clarify something that people on the page think we want Drew and Willow to go away. And the truth is, I don't. I don't want them to just go away. I want there to be a satisfying wrap up of this story. I mean, this is good stuff. It's giving us the icks. It's giving me less icks, fewer icks, less icks. How does one? Fewer icks now for some reason, maybe because Michael's out of the picture. But I love the fact that this is going to implode in the best way. What I hope doesn't happen, because I'm kind of mean, is I hope that Willow doesn't have a sudden epiphany and go, oh, I've been wrong all along. No, that's not in her character. Michael did such a beautiful job of talking about who she really is and the fact that this is one messed up little girl who needs a whole lot of therapy to figure out who she is. That's the storyline, not the, oh, you're right, I was wrong. I'm not a Disney princess.
Again, we've been crying for this show for years to be a soap because they were so afraid of doing anything, messing with the canvas. And maybe it took the brief writer kerfuffle of 2024 to do it, but it's actually, I actually feel, I'm still not sure if they're going to land somewhere, but I feel like they are going somewhere. And I agree. We had to get over that ick hump to now get this sort of soapy goodness. And many people have said now, at least the show is watchable.
Oh, absolutely. Well, last Friday's episode was kind of dull. I don't even remember what happened, but it was boring. When you read War and Peace, we've got this tome here, and not every chapter is going to knock you on your socks, or you'd be like so overexcited about the whole thing you wouldn't be able to continue. And it's a necessary ebb and flow in a soap. So we can't expect every episode to knock our socks off, but they made up for it in the next couple of days.
Yeah. And for those following, as we discussed the writer setup on a soap opera, that could be a breakdown writer thing. Oh, we've covered all the points this week. It's Friday. We just got to do stuff to fill out the episode.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
I feel like there are times, like you said, where it's just like you got this nothing burger episode, but it's just sort of like oh, we've run out of everything we were going to do this week. And so now we need to fill airtime. So let's do an episode where everybody's in it, but nothing's happening.
And that's exactly what it was. Sometimes those episodes are the easiest to snark because usually really stupid things happen during those. So Jason picked a good time to go on vacation too.
They're
By the
they're
way,
just,
Jason, while you're out of the country taking care of Michael, we're going to break the news to your kid that his mom was murdered. We're going to spread rumors that you're the father of Sasha's baby, and we're going to do all these things. Jason's going to come back to town and go, "What's going on here, people?"
he'll have a lot
To unpack. Yeah.
to catch up on. Not quite as much as Lulu, but he'll have a lot to catch up on. So let's talk rap for a little bit. I have now renamed a certain character. I've now given them a hip hop name,
Oh,
and that name is Lil'Carly.
Lil'Carly.
Carly
Lil
getting in the room, finding the list. Lil'Carly, just like her mom.
She is just like her mom. And I have to say, Eden McCoy is one damn fine actor. She's really good. And I'm enjoying this. And I don't understand what's going on with Joss and Jack and why he's sort of leading her down the primrose lane. I feel like they're playing this secret game of Clue, and he's just like, "Oh, you figure it out. I've already figured it out." It's like she's his Padawan to his Padme or whatever. You can tell how much I understand Star Wars and using those bizarre analogies.
Jack's sidekick, Colette, she still has her accent, but Jack doesn't. What's going on with Jack?
Let's just talk about this sitch for a sec, because as we know, first of all, I want to say this: Charles Measure can do whatever he wants. It's his life. If this wasn't working for him, props to him for saying I'm out of here instead of getting crabby and not doing a good job with his character. He's moving on, right? And we love that for him.
Right, whatever the reasons are, but I do feel this was an emergency recast.
That's what I got too.
Frank looked out into the parking lot. Nobody was there. So he opened up the Rolodex and got Chris McKenna, a fine actor in his own right, from One Life to Live, just not the actor to play Jack Brennan. Come on, you can't tell me there aren't a million Australian actors in their late 30s, early 40s, early 50s, whatever, not out there and available who would love to have a contract role on a soap.
You know what, though? I will say this. His very first scenes with Carly on the plane, I was like, nope, nope, nope. I was noping within the first 40 seconds. And that first episode he was in, I felt like he was uncomfortable. I felt that Laura Wright was overdoing it in the hopes that she would bring him along. And that didn't work for me. Now, I want to say that yesterday's episode where he is in Bobby's and he's having the conversation with Joss, and eventually the
Carly.
Lil'Carly, and then eventually with Carly, my reaction was different yesterday. I didn't hate it.
He had a little more gravitas after getting an episode or two under his belt. Yeah.
Right. But you're going to have lunch with the person today, with the person who made this comment. One of our patrons, who David's going to see for lunch today, made this wonderful observation about Charles Measure and why we loved him. He always had a twinkle in his eye. He always felt happy and in a good mood. Even when he was being stern, you knew that was going to pass. This was, he's not mean dad. He's happy dad who has to get stern with his children. I've never seen an actor pull that off quite the way he did in that role. That is what's going to be the biggest adjustment for me. So thank you, Scott, for your tip. That was a wonderful observation. You nailed that one.
An episode in, like, I'm used to him. He's got sort of the essence of the role, but it's tough when you have a character that played by an actor who has an accent to replace him and then not keep the accent. And it's tough for anybody to take over a role, but this was a particularly tough role to take over. It's almost, no one is irreplaceable. Or
I'm going to give Chris a chance. I really am. I want this to work because the setup of this story is so good, and I want to see this through. I am thinking that it's going to get better, that he's going to feel more comfortable in the role. I mean, you guys, this could have been a situation where he got a phone call on Friday night and Monday he was on the set.
It was very fast, and he even said that he didn't know what role he was auditioning for.
Right.
They wrote a scene for him to play with Laura Wright that sounded Jack Brennan-ish, but wasn't called Jack Brennan. He deserves a chance. I am glad we did get to see OG Charles Measure kiss Carly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll
yeah,
always
at
have
least
that.
we got that. We'll always have that.
We'll always have that. Now, if they, and I've seen this done on soaps where somebody's been recast just before the couple is going to make love. And you're like, wait, she's making love to this guy.
You bet.
So I do remember years ago, Days of Our Lives, and other soap operas have done this, have gotten like very cheeky with the recasts. Like the character steps into the shower and his love interest steps in with him. And then the next day it's a new face.
Yes.
Yes. Wink, wink, meta nod to the, like we recast. I prefer more gentle recasts. And I'm, again, considering probably the emergency nature of this recast, they couldn't write off Jack for a couple of weeks and then have him come back. So,
well, yeah, because it was like knee deep in the middle of the Germany story. We could.
Yeah. Good luck, Chris.
Yeah, good luck, Chris. We will give you the benefit of the doubt, and I bet you we're going to end up really liking you. Emma and Gio, they are trying so hard to make poor dear Gio and Emma fit into this canvas, and they've orchestrated this sort of interesting pseudo friendship with Emma and Gio, and who knows where that's going. Okay, so we're in the same situation, except the writers are doing it to her. So we recast Emma, as we talked about last week, dear Brooklyn Ray, who was so sweet as Emma, and we loved her, and we got to watch her grow up on television, which was fantastic. And now we have new Emma, and the writers have completely changed the character, which is sort of the reverse of what happened with Jack, kind of a thing. So we're just going to get used to this. Obviously, she's going to play an adversarial role on the show. She is not, yeah, she's an antagonist, and she will be stirring the pot. They can stir it enough to make
be the good guy that we're all going to root for.
And then they'll fall in love, and then they'll have, all that.
I do notice you were mentioning how swole he was getting.
Oh, yeah.
Last week. Probably always was. I mean, who knows? It could just be the way they dress him. But they're also, if you notice, sort of experimenting with hairstyles with him. Because he's a
good-looking young man. He's a good-looking young man, and he has potential.
Not a bad actor. Yeah.
I'm going to draw an analogy here, and I know I'm going to get skewered for it. Remember I just talked about that twinkle in Charles Measure's eye? Gio has it too.
Yes.
There's a little bit of a twinkle in everything he does. And so that endears him to me. That the repartee he has. And also he's kind of always the dude in the scene who's a little bit clueless. And then he reads the room and he figures it out. So there's hope for Gio. We just got so many dang kids on the show. And now we've got Danny and Rocco joining one of the Cyrus investigative teams, and that's just going to be a crap show. The Jocelyn Jacks detective agency with Rocco and Danny as her lead detectives. What could possibly go wrong?
Can't imagine.
Like a Goosebumps book.
And what about Truck Nuts? Oh, gosh. He's just working my last nerve.
If I were Josh Kelly, I'd be like, what's going on here, people? Am I good Cody? Am I stupid Cody?
I hate when soaps destroy characters they've worked so hard to redeem. He had them, Josh Kelly and Cody. He was starting to get a lot of people on his side. I mean, there's certain people
and develop friendships and family ties and all this kind of stuff. I think they just don't know what to do with him.
That's obvious. Because, hey, your fault, GH writers. You decided Sasha should be Robert Scorpio's kid. And this is what you have wrought.
Yes.
Okay, so we did the whole related thing and everything. What if they found out they weren't and they could resume their romance? Now he's ruined it because he's been accusing her of, Jason's the father. So... Yeah.
They've painted them back into the corner again, and it's not a fun corner. I agree. Yeah. I hope they bring Mrs. Selena Wu back in. I know a lot of people don't enjoy her character, but I happen to really love her. If they're going to do the gambling thing, let's do it right. Let's get Sidwell involved. Let's get
Yeah,
Jordan involved. Let's do the whole thing. Let's go down that route, not just pretend. Let's.
I think she is back because they gave her a set.
Oh,
They
yeah,
give your
that's
character
true.
a set. They
You
give your
know you've
character
made it when you get a set.
you're you're back. I mean, when they give the character a home set, you're setting down roots. But
Yeah.
she has an office now, which is so much nicer than Sunny's. Giving credit to the writers, which I know we don't always do. I'm glad they're finally somebody in that writers' room is actually paying attention to past plots because Drew's going to meet his constituents, but that made perfect sense for him to try and go and get dirt on Curtis from Selena Wu.
I love this. We've got a couple of things going on right now where like it's Drew, it's Cyrus, all the bad guys. And what's fun is it's not just Anna going off after someone. It's not just the police. We've got the whole freaking town involved in these things, and I love that. It makes it so much more interesting. The Curtis and Nina potential takedown of Drew, I have a feeling Carly's going to get in on that. This could be
Yeah, you
really
can keep
good.
Anna ponying up to the bar for another drink. Let's watch all these other people do their thing. The more Anna says to Lil'Carly, don't do this, of course she's going to do it.
We need people in Port Charles should have learned by now that the only thing that works with Big Carly and Lil Carly is reverse psychology. I really want you to go after Cyrus. Oh, okay. I
But how
Well,
long are they going to be able to drag out this Michael, off canvas thing? I'm just
that's
wondering.
really interesting. I think maybe the way they're going to do it is that he'll get better. We'll hear that he's better, but he and Willow will divorce, and he'll just go off and find Nicholas in somewhere. I don't even know. Not Nicholas. It's time for text messages from Wicked Stepmother. And she had a lot to say this week. She says, okay, I have two pet peeves on GH that never cease to annoy me. The plot turning on something that was overheard. And it's true. GH uses that trope of Emma in the thing overhearing Sasha. That's so stupid. And she says, I also hate the lines, what are you doing here? And what are you talking about? As if it's anybody's business. And then she says, use these snarks as needed. I will definitely use those snarks.
We always there's so many of those things. My favorite is always, and again, good soap operas do it, but it sometimes it gets to be a little much. When it's they need to end a scene, and yeah, it's the what are you doing here? And then they come back and it's well, I'm here for the surprise party. Those little cliffhangers
The
amongst.
manufactured cliffhangers, yes.
Yes, yes, I always love that because it adds a little excitement, but they are old.
So quickly before we wrap up, who was your character of the week, David?
My character of the week was Ooh, Drew, because he's just everything he does, he's got a little angle and he's so transparent now. Oh, well, that backfired on you, Carly. Ha ha ha. Because I just spilled that Jason is fathering Sasha's baby. Well, can't wait for you to find out that's false information. Yeah, he just everywhere he goes. And I love the fact, as much as they've sort of regressed truck nuts, I love the fact that he's his sort of foil. Like when he
Yes.
stormed back into
Yeah.
oh, why are you here? Got to give it up to Drew.
I think that's great. My character of the week wasn't on all that much, but it was this rebel Jordan. Jordan is my character of the week
Oh,
because
good.
first of all, for the first time, we feel like she's going to get a really, really good story since this new actor, who's took over the roles, finally going to get a really good story where she's front and center. She's the main character in her own love story. She's the main character in her own detective story. So I'm thrilled about Jordan. Oh, she's so beautiful, and she has such an energy about her of class and elegance. And I'm the smartest person in the room, and she's lovely, and she's also kind. She's not a mean person.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
see Portia and we see Portia sniping all the time. We've never ever seen
Which you
that.
can't hide. Yeah,
We've never seen that with Jordan. She
yeah.
seems to be a very kind human. So I'm really looking forward to that. She is my character of the week. Let us know in the comments who your character of the week was and what you'd like us to talk about next week. Maybe you have questions. Why did you say that, Mama? And David, where are you getting that information? Those are the questions we want you to ask. Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends because General Hospital Snarkcast is in the house. Bye, everyone.